Hi, I'm JP Giuliotti, the executive producer for the Friends of Eddie Coyle Tribute Project, and welcome to the DVD. I wanted to say a few words on behalf of the project. The Friends of Eddie Coyle, as you know by now, is a classic crime drama set in the city of Boston back in 1973. It was shot in 1972, and it was directed by Peter Yates and starred Robert Mitchum, Peter Boyle, Richard Jordan, among others. And it was a movie that I was always enamored with. It was one of those movies that you never really got to see on TV, and you're flicking around, say at late night, and it comes on, and oh great, this movie's on, I haven't seen it in a long time. And the fact that it was set entirely on location in Boston was of particular interest to me because, obviously I grew up there, and it was a bit nostalgic for me. And I just became what we're now calling a Coyle file. I really fell in love with the movie, and I thought it was a perfect example of like 1970s grit is the way I describe it, real kind of edgy, but very much a dialogue-driven movie. And I thought that it would be a good piece of material for me to do my first foray into producing. I'm an actor, and I've done original scripts from other people. I've never really done a remake of anything. And because I wanted to understand what it was like on the other side of the camera, I wanted to take a piece of work that was already done that I knew worked. And because, again, I had such an affinity for the film, I thought, geez, that would be a great thing to do, some scenes from the Friends of Eddie Coyle. And I had it up in my head for a long time that someday I would do that. Well, enter director Andrew Burchell. He was doing a small film called Snapshots, which is currently in post-production, May of 2010 right now. And as he was giving me direction for my character in that film, he mentioned Peter Boyle as a bartender. And I asked him, what do you mean Peter Boyle? How would Peter Boyle would do what as a bartender? He says, oh, well, he would do X, Y, and Z as it related to the scene. And I said, what movie are you talking about that you saw him in? And he said, oh, The Friends of Eddie Coyle, my favorite film. And immediately I ran over and hugged Andrew, and I said, oh my God, I've been wanting to do this for a long time, put together a project. You're a director, you have a film crew, I've got a couple of scenes that I want to do, what do you think? And he was on board right away. So now I've got my director, now I've got my film crew. We had to write some of the scripts. There were no scripts available online, or anywhere for that matter that I could see. So when Criterion came out with the DVD release of The Friends of Eddie Coyle, what I wound up doing was I took the two scenes that we wound up shooting and I put on the subtitles. And as the subtitles were rolling, I would pause it and I would type it into the script. And so that's how our scripts came to be. And we recruited two great actors in the Seattle area. Actually, I was scouting for these actors for a long time. One was Eric Reedman, who played the part of Dave Foley, and the other one was D'Angelo Medilli, who played the part of Jackie Brown. Both of them I had in mind for those parts for the longest time, even long before I met Andrew. And they were happy to come on board. And we also had a great location, the Shanty Cafe, down on 350 Elliott, right across from the F5 Network building. Ginger and Teresa are very good friends of mine. I told them that I had this idea and I'd like to use your place as a location. They gave me the location. They gave us unlimited access to it. So everything was falling into place. The goals of the movie were to, as I already mentioned, to learn the production side of filmmaking, how to get a location, how to audition actors, budgeting. Everyone got paid on the project. To also be very professional. I've been on a lot of film sets. Some people do things right, some people do things not so right. And I wanted this to be a production that everyone involved with was happy to be a part of because it was run well. And that was something that I really wanted to do and see if I could accomplish. And thirdly, we wanted to pay tribute to this wonderful film. And as I have said many times before, I think we accomplished all of those goals. We also have real worthy material now for the actors and the people that are in the crew. We shot the piece, it went off great. We went into editing, and that's when Tom McIntyre came on board, and Tom is an expert filmmaker here in Seattle. He started making suggestions about maybe how to make the whole tribute project a little bit more robust. As I mentioned in another interview, he said, why don't you try to get a hold of some of the actors that were in the film, or even the director? And so I launched on a course of action to do that. And I wound up actually making contact with a few of the actors, one of whom, Mr. Alex Rocco, otherwise known as Mo Green from The Godfather. He made himself available for an interview, and so we captured that. now we're at the point where we're releasing the DVD, and we hope you enjoy it. Future plans for the Friends of Eddie Coyle tribute project are perhaps once I save up some more money, we film a few more scenes, and then we take the two pieces that are on this DVD, along with these other scenes that I plan on filming, with the same cast and the same crew, hopefully, because they were wonderful, and we package together basically a mini version of the movie. You know, it'll be a short version of the overall length movie. And that's something that's sort of like, you know, we have in the think tank right now, and we hope that we can get it done. I also want to talk to Paramount or Criterion, whoever it is appropriate, to let them know what we've done, and maybe we can get some interest from them, including our material, on any of their media that they might want to do in the future for distribution of the movie. The 40th anniversary is coming up in 2013, and maybe they like us enough that we can get on that. I don't know, just an idea, but I think we did a professional job, and I think that they'd be lucky to have our stuff on anything that they want to do. All pie in the sky stuff, but in the end it was a fun project. I'm glad that it went from my head to reality, and it's here, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you for the support of the crew and the cast, and Mr. Rocco, of course, and we look forward to doing more with this, so enjoy.